Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you since the holidays. We took a little break, a little hiatus to enjoy the season, and we are back. Little Cowboy here, and Antoine, your host of On the Couch, the longest running LGBTQ2S plus talk show in local history. I know I say it every time, but I'm way too proud of that not to say it every time. um, I wanted to talk to you today just about something before I bring on my guest. I want to talk about live music and artists. I think you all have heard me or seen me perform on the show. In the last couple of years, I started being my recording artist myself. For me, it's not my main thing, and I've got a lot happening, so but it's a passion for me. But to a lot of artists, in Canadian artists and queer artists, it is their livelihood, it's their main thing, and it takes a lot to develop songs and music. It like trust me, it's like $1,000 or more to just get studio time and mix and master and all these things that you have to do. And the live music is very challenging, and if you find an opportunity to support artists at a live venue, go out, support them. Canadian artists and queer artists deserve that. And if not, if you can't go out, support their music, support their streams, find a way to support them. I think everybody wins that way, and we keep getting those beautiful songs. The big guys get a lot of support, but indie and small artists don't get that. And part of what I like to do in the community through our magazines and our talk shows is supporting the artists. So see what you can do. I love you. Okay. And with that, it's a really good segue for me to bring you up today on the couch is one of our community's most loved singers, producers, live music advocate, and a powerhouse of a human being. Her resume and bio is like 4 pages long. So I gave up on trying to include it in the script, and I thought, I'll just bring her on and we will chat. Welcome with me to our show, Elana Harte.
Hey,
hello,
Antoine.
Elana.
Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year.
Thank you to you too as well. You're looking very cool and cozy with the toque on.
It's that kind of day. It's a Tukey day.
It's that kind of day. Yeah, January, all that. It's the blues. We're gonna chat a little bit before we take a break, but let's start the first segment with talking about current projects and maybe then projects on the horizon. What are you doing these days, and what is coming up for you?
Right. So a couple things. I'm in the middle of working on a country record with a project called the Sling Sisters. I have a co-writer in this project. There's 3 of us in it, so it's an all-female sling.
Oh my God, that's so cool. First time I hear of this, but cool.
So some of the songs, they're all country songs. Really, I'm really enjoying that. It's a different style for me. I haven't done anything country in a very long time.
Okay.
So that's one. And, really gearing up for the year for music, a lot of co-writing. There's a lot of co-writing.
Writing? Oh, no.
Yeah, more and more opportunities coming for writing and producing. It's very busy for everybody, I think.
Right. Yeah, I know that I'm working with Elana, by the way, guys, on some stuff this year, so we'll keep you posted on that. But country, I honestly, I think your voice lends itself to. I don't think I remember hearing you sing country, and I'm really looking forward to it now.
Yeah, it's in fact, I remember we were both at a venue where we debuted one of the songs that we are going to put on the record.
Okay.
That I in Nashville, and done some co-writing with some folks there. One of them being Desmond Child had a hand in what was happening, Jody Marr. And then anyway, it was just a really great experience. But it's going to be the songs themselves are really well crafted. We're being really careful. And having 3 voices, singing in harmony is up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You mentioned it yourself. When you said country, I was going to try to see, is that what happened with the Nashville trip that you had? So
yeah.
That's where it came out of? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like I took the song deliberately to that event, like to go and take it there. And it was a really great experience for me and a bunch of other people too. It was like a bunch of us that were there.
Tell us more about it, actually, since we are on the topic. So how did you get that opportunity?
It's I saw it, I found it, and then made the decision I was going to make the time to go, because often I don't make that time. Often I tell myself I'm too busy or I don't have enough money or whatever it is. And this time I was like, never mind, I'm just going to do it anyway.
I can't miss that one.
Exactly. And so that's what I did. So I got to not only write with some incredible people and meet people from across the continent, but also around the world, actually. I got to perform in Nashville, which was great. I got to hang out on Broadway. I just,
Oh my God.
yeah, yeah.
Me jealous.
Well, you should do it. I mean, if it's a passion,
Yeah, too early in my career for that. But thank you for trusting in me.
maybe, maybe the next, the end of the year.
But I think it's a beautiful opportunity when you can have something like that where you collaborate and talk with other people with all the passion around and all that. So
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna take a short break and I'll be back with Elana Harte. Everyone, don't go anywhere.
I love my lips. My beautiful lips. I love my eyes. My beautiful eyes. I respect nature. I love all living things. Beauty is kind. I am beautiful. Love the earth. Love your life. Live life healthy.
And we are back with the lovely Elana Harte, our community's most loved. Most loved? Are you most loved? I call you most loved. I love you so much, so you're most loved in my books. Singer and songwriter. Let's talk. Let's look back at history. Let's start actually with your love for music. Describe what music means to you and why do you think it has such an impact on people? Dare I say, more than any other art form. I know my other artist friends and other disciplines will hate me for saying that, but I really believe in the power of music. What are your thoughts? Where did your love for it come from?
So, I mean, I've always listened to and been involved with music since I was quite young. It's always been something that resonates with me. It resonates with most people. And this is the thing, it's like a universal language. Even if it's just something that happens, there's an energy in music, whether it's the rhythmic of it or the melody or the lyric or all of it, that really touches people in a way that nothing else will. And so we have you were talking earlier about indie artists. All artists have a responsibility when you are doing something to bring it to the people. It's really, and to share it, right? And to have an impact and to have a message and to do things that are going to make people feel, because that's what it does, right? Music, you listen to music, you're never just sitting there and going, well, unless it's really bad, but I mean, even you're having a reaction.
But something happens. Something happens inside you. Yeah.
Always. It's always a reaction. And the other thing that's really remarkable about music, I think, is the memories that come along with it. You can hear a song you haven't heard in, whatever amount of time, and then all of a sudden,
Exactly.
recorded. So it's so magical. And so I think that's what drives the process, is trying to find that magic and share that magic. It's so, so incredible.
I love that. You said that, and in my head, I don't know why Careless Whisper came up, because like the second I say Careless Whisper, I don't even have to listen to the song. I imagine the first time I heard it with my cousins on a mountain in Greece with the snow, and my cousin's door open and we're all lying on the snow listening to this new song that just came out, and like right away it carries me there the second that I hear it. So yeah, but you know what, you said something, because maybe it's old as time. Before movies, before anybody written, there was drumming. There was something that guided our species, and that's tone and music and drums and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's ingrained in our, I guess, bodies probably.
Yeah, it's that. And I think, speaking of that, Antoine, and also it's community, right? Because you share it, it becomes a community. So long before language, you can share that experience, and that's what starts to build
the dance and the drumming was a language in its own kind of thing. Perfect. Cool. Well, how did you get your beginning?
I started playing guitar in a band when I was quite young. I was 13 or 14. I kind of dabbled before, but 13, 14, and then that band rolled into a recording project, and then that rolled into me getting signed as a recording artist. So it all kind of just kept moving through. Some really incredible musicians, even I'm still in touch with some of them, that I had, I was grateful to play with during that time. So that's pretty much where it started. I needed to do it. It was one of the
Cool. I don't know if that leads to the second, as you answered my question. What was an exact opportunities that you can pinpoint that has progressed your career in music?
Oh my, so
For
many.
me, it's working with Elana Harte. No.
We have a really good time. It's true. I mean,
Thank you, darling. But yeah. What was it for you?
you know, there's I'm trying to think of what it's like some of the pivotal ones. I mean, signing a contract was really pivotal, but long before that, playing for larger groups of people, that was pivotal. So I can remember the first time I ever played in a concert
Yeah.
and had the feeling of standing on stage and looking out at all the people and going, oh, this is what I have to do. And I was scared, you know?
Oh, good. Seriously? Okay, so that means I am terrified of what's coming up for us, and we can talk about some of the projects, but I am scared. So it's okay to be scared.
Absolutely. I get the
Oh, yeah?
same
Okay, cool.
every time. Every time
Okay.
always, still to this day, I've been doing it a long time, still get the nerves, you know, and if I didn't, I'd worry.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm gonna lean on you to remind me of that.
Yeah.
And I hear that apparently Barbara Streisand still runs backstage and gets physically sick every time she's trying to perform from her nerves. I actually read there's 3 or 4 very well-known artists that's like they still can't get rid of the stage fright.
Yep.
Cool. What is your favorite work in your repertoire, and what was your process to developing it?
My favorite work in my repertoire. Wow, that's a very big question.
I know.
You know,
I like to ask that.
there's, you know, every record has, or every whatever offering has its time.
Okay.
And
Fair
have
enough.
to go away from it and try to figure out, you know, because otherwise we do the second guess. Oh, we put it out, now we want to do something different or whatever it may be. I think when the first time I produced a record is probably what struck me the most. I produced half of a record called Split. That's why it was called when I was still signed. And so that was an experience for me because all of a sudden I was in the driver's seat and I could actually make some decisions.
Cool.
That was cool. That was when I started to put my producer hat on and start to really delve into sound and tone and all of those things, arrangements and such.
What is your process when a song, I don't know, how does a song comes to you based on an idea? How do you take it from there?
So it depends on where. I mean, like everyone, I have in my phone, I have a bunch of ideas and I scribble down just the order. And, you know, my friends laugh. We'll all do this thing. Someone will say something. They know if it's really good, I'm going to write it down. I'll give them credit, but I still write it down.
Give them credit. That's sweet. So, okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's but it could come from anywhere. You know, inspiration is everywhere.
Okay, I was going to say actually, even you know what, I'm still learning from you. Even as you know, a new artist, sometimes like what I write as a note is just one line, and then a month or 2 later, I go back to that line, kind of things. Like, can I something come out of that line, kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, okay, so that's kind of how you approach things. Yeah. Okay.
It is. I mean, you can, and then for inspiration for music, I remember trying to figure out, I was sitting around and I heard what I thought was an entire classical arrangement. I was like, what is happening here? In my head, I could hear it. I kept looking around. Is it coming from the wall, piano? What's happening? And I realized none of that. It was the tones coming out of the kettle as it was boiling.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Kettle building music. And I thought, wow. So I tried it. I unplugged the kettle, music stopped, plug the kettle in, music stopped.
I'm loving this.
Yeah. So like there's all of that. So, I mean, you can really find it anywhere. I used to find inspiration in the sound of the bus when I used to take public transit because it's got rhythm and it has tone. You know, people talking have melody, right?
Amazing. I mean, you know what? Creativity is a really, really odd. One time I was driving with my sister. I was just trying to explain to her how my creative mind, because I do like covers of our magazines, photography, layouts of things and whatever. And I said, we were driving in the countryside. And I said, well, I want to explain to you then, because we're talking about the topic. I said, look outside and tell me what it sees. She says, what? Like grass and a barn, like grass and a barn. I said, see, I see green, and then the barn is red. But if I move the red to the side, then the sun would be reflecting. It was like, oh my God, you're a freak. It's like our minds work differently.
Mm-hmm. Whereas she may actually be able, if you said to her, what do you hear? If she's not visual, she may describe something different than you. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah, cool. That's very cool. Accomplishment that you are proud of.
Accomplishment that I am proud of. Well, you know, accolades are nice. I think one of the things that if I ever, you know, we do this thing, what do you want to be known for? What do you want people to remember you for? And one of the things that I realized in the last maybe a couple of years is I've had an opportunity to collaborate with a ton of very talented people. In my time, I've given a leg up to a bunch of people. And I do it willingly because I believe in the give back. We are community.
I love
And
you for that. Awesome.
so there's a bunch of folks who, I've been, involved with at some point in their career. And as they go forward, it's just lovely to see them doing things that are, bringing them such joy. So that would be the thing.
That's what you're making me gonna want to cry. And to say, folks, that's kind of my experience of this wonderful human is I just started and she approached me and says, I don't want you to make mistakes along the way. So I kind of like want to take you under my wing. And like that's a spirit that's very, very generous and kind and rare in this life. And I don't know if it's common in music, but actually in music I realized that people like to support one another. Maybe on the smaller you are as an artist, we kind of are there for one another. So kudos for you. I want to mention also, just guys, because I didn't get the bio. Elana works with a lot of different bands in Toronto. She's got cover bands, she's got tribute bands, she works a lot of venues. So she's very involved, not just singer songwriter, but she's like everywhere. and her pride parties and stuff like that, where she plays in pride venues, are historic. So yay. The music scene. What are your thoughts on the current music scene, locally and maybe nationally?
So, everybody can complain. What's the point? There's nothing to complain about. You really just have to make your way. So the local music scene has changed dramatically over many years. There are venues to play and opportunities to play. You just have to work to get them. It used to be when I first started music, I would be on the road playing 7 days a week in the big venues they were really all about bands. And then as they moved to DJs, and then they moved to karaoke, and then. And the reality is you need to find opportunities and to make sure that people want to see you, and then you can continue to drill them out, basically. Nationally, it's the same thing. There's a lot of, we're all talking about, Canadian music still has this, the government and the Canadian music scene is still supported. We're lucky that way. United really get that as much. We have grants that are available for creation that are, really good for Canadian artists. And I think we still collaborate across the country. There's still that feeling I could call someone in Calgary and say, I want to come and play. And if they have they'll put me on.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So is it lucrative as it used to be? No. Do you have to work harder than you ever did? Sure. But you have more opportunity because, we can all record at home. Right. You know
what? I think that's for everything. When COVID hit, even in business, I said to my manager at the company, there's still opportunities to make money even following COVID and within COVID, but you just had to work 5 times harder. But everything is still out there. You just have to do more, kind of thing. Yeah. Cool. Advise. What would you advise a young person who wants to get into music? Do you have any advice for them?
I do.
What mistakes shouldn't they make along the way, maybe?
I think there's 2 things in there. You have to have ambition and you have to have a dream. If you don't have a dream and you don't have ambition, you're not going to go anywhere near, unless you're so talented, people, push you along, which happens.
But, of course.
For the most part, if you have ambition and you have a dream, that's great. But don't lose sight of the everyday. Don't lose sight of the journey. Because if you're in it and you're saying, I want to be a millionaire, this may not be your gig. But if you go in saying, I want to experience everything, learn everything, and really go along and really build yourself and build your experiences, that's where you're going to get the joy, right? And it's great. We all want to win a Grammy and we all want to win a Juno and we all want dollars. But along the way, there's so many incredible when you creating, and when you hear the track sounds good, or you have a show that's, where you're in the moment, the entire, or as many moments as you can get out of it. And sharing something, or someone tells you how much what you're doing is important to them, and it just goes on and on. There's so much to celebrate, and that's the part that
That's so true. I second that. My friend Simone Denny, who's been on our show, Powerhouse Simone, a Canadian singer, Simone Denny. The first thing that she said to me: anybody getting into this for fame and fortune, that's the wrong thing to get to. If it happens. But if you're doing it for passion, it's going to happen from a beautiful place rather than, I just want to be famous. That's not an ambition. I want to be famous is not an ambition.
Well, it's certainly a goal, but if you're stepping on people and being really crappy all the way through, you're going to be lonely and famous in the end. And that's
very nicely said. Cool.
It's the,
Um,
yeah, go ahead, Antoine.
no. Finish the thought. You think?
That's the thing. It's celebrate everything.
Celebrate everything. I like that line. Um, let's talk about community, old days and versus new days. What are you feeling about our queer community?
Well, it's hard for us. One, that, that our gathering spots are continuing to go away.
Yeah.
Mostly because they're not sustainable. And part of the reason is that is we are no longer, we can be where we want to be when we want to be there for the most part. And so we continue to integrate into other communities or feel very familiar and comfortable. Our community continues to be involved in other communities. So where we were, holding on to each other for survival, we don't do that anymore.
Very nicely said. Yeah.
I'm married to a woman. It'll be 5 years on the 27th. We'll be married. And the fact that I can say that, and that I don't worry, and I'm old enough to remember when it was still not.
When we could not say that. Yeah. That's you know what, you make a very, very good point. It's where I kind of struggle with. I miss the community when we were so tight and protective of one another because we all lived on this little village and we all that was it. But now we work so hard to be able to be anywhere we want to be. But now like the village and our centers are disappearing. But do we need them? Because we now could be anywhere, married and walk around with, with your partner, whatever, and feel safe and what have you. So I guess you win something, you lose something, but this is the win better. Cool. Very nicely said. If you rule the world, and then we're going to take a break. If you ruled the world for a day, what would you change?
If I ruled the world for a day.
What would be the big change? You only have one day to come up with it.
Wow. If I ruled the world for a day, and but it would only be for the day. Can I change it?
Yeah, just one day. But what the change that you make will be lasting. So let's add that in.
I would have to take on the environmental issues then, because that's going to be the thing that. Yeah.
Cool, because we gotta care for the next generations coming after us, not just about us. Yeah. Freaking greedy people. No. Cool. Let's take a little break and we'll be back with Elana. Don't go anywhere, guys.
I'll buy it into your love, babe. Run away and let's get married. To our bedroom you'll be carried. White fence house I'll buy you. A big yard with a nice view. Make you happy, I just know it. Say it every day and show it. So if you want me to, I'll run away with you.
And we are back with Elana Harte, and we were having a fantastic chat. Let's continue. Tell me a little bit about growing up. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? How many siblings? Blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Montreal. I grew up in Montreal. I have one brother. I have a stepbrother and a stepsister. By the time I was 10, we were living in an area that was multicultural, which was great. And a lot of music and a lot of, kids running around. That was awesome. And then I left Montreal in 99 to come to Toronto, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. You don't have any accent of any hint of any French or Montreal or anything in you.
Well, my family at home spoke English, and then, but I spoke French at work, and then now every once in a while I'll slip into it, or my brain will.
You do? Oh, cool! I haven't heard you speak French.
Yeah. Or it'll, conjugate a verb that doesn't make any sense or whatever. But I'm pretty comfortable. So.
Oh, very cool. And you mentioned that you're married, and I met your wife. She is one hell of a cook. Every time I go to record at Elana, she's cooking something that makes me very hungry leaving the place. That's very nice. Do you have you have a child?
I do. I have a 15-year-old son.
Nice, cool. Any pets?
Nope, not at this time.
Not this time. Cool. And you work. This is not your full-time job. You work on top of all of this.
I do. I work in community. In fact, I work in the housing sector.
Okay.
I do I hold a number of positions in the housing sector, all centered around community.
Beautiful. Nice work. Hobbies, other than you must have, well, I know you're on virtual reality that I just bought, Meta.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that thing is sucking up so much time of my time. I'm like becoming like I come on, it's only like 10 minutes at 12 o'clock at night. At midnight, I'm gonna just play a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool. What other hobbies?
So what other hobbies? I used to ride motorcycles until it got stolen. That may happen again. It's okay. I love to read because it's a quiet and engages me in a different way. And then recently, I think that I'm going to start building guitars. So I've got some parts that I'm going to put together.
Oh my God. And you have time for that. We'll see. All right. We're coming to kind of towards the end. If you watch the show, everyone, we do the quick questions now, and you're just going to think and answer on the spot. Ready to play?
Okay.
Your favorite color?
Blue.
Your favorite season of the year?
Fall.
Your favorite flower?
Oh, I'd have to pick a rose.
Okay, rose. I love rose. Your horoscope?
Leo.
Do you believe in horoscope?
To some degree, yeah.
Yeah, cool. A lot of people laugh at that question from my guess. What makes you laugh?
Everything.
Yeah, you're easy to laugh. I can say that about you. You always got a big smile happening. Your favorite time of the day? Morning person, night person, evening?
Morning. Very early.
You're a morning person. Cool. What would you pour yourself after a long day? What drink?
Well, it would probably be a very nice chilled white wine, but a very dry wine.
Nice. And I know you like whiskey.
I do.
Like whiskey. So what is this? A song you listen to frequently these days, and you can't pick one of your own.
A song I listen to frequently these days. Oh, I've been
Mine.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of your songs over and over. It's true.
Right.
But it wasn't yours and it wasn't mine. I think I'm kind of stuck right now on an Elton John tune, an old Elton John tune called "Someone Save."
Oh,
Very-
sweet. Yeah, I know the one. Cool. What quirks do you have?
What quirks do I have? Okay, I'll give you one or two. I need
Yeah.
to close doors.
You need to what?
Close covered doors. If someone leaves the if someone leaves
Me
the door,
too.
yeah, I have to close it. And even if they're not finished, doesn't matter. I have to.
I
close
got out of bed when I remembered one time that I did not close the cupboard fully. Cool. Okay, another one.
it. What else? I really like shoes and boots.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Pairs of all. Yeah.
Okay. What is your pet peeves or one pet peeve?
My pet peeves are people who don't tell the truth.
Oh, wow. Cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What job would you be terrible at?
Driving a truck.
What favorite film of all time that you may pop on when you're trying to relax?
Oliver.
Really? How sweet. Cool. What dish do you cook that no one should miss?
I make this really great chicken and spinach stew.
Oh, sweet.
Mm.
Are you usually early or late?
Early.
You are early. I know that. Describe a romantic date. What would you do something really to wow?
You know, it depends. I mean, romantic dates can be at a concert that you really dig. A romantic date. We had one that was at the top of a mountain in California. So it really depends on the intention.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's very nicely said. Crazy week and lots of work. How do you describe an ideal way to chill and spend a weekend?
It starts with a meditation.
Yeah, I know you meditate. I love that about you. Yes.
Meditation, because otherwise, if you don't unwind, none of that's going to help you. And then again, the rest is flow. It's all about flow, not being pressed for time.
Absolutely. Have you tried meditation on VR?
I did.
You did, right? I discovered that there's a lot of YouTube meditation on VR. I'm trying to go through them all. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. You've been delightful. I appreciate you. The community appreciates you. Keep up the great work. And everyone, thank you for watching. I love you. I love having one of the most awesome audience on Rogers TV. and take good care and see you soon.